Loud and clear ba ako?
Yes, Doc.
Okay, So, good morning, everybody. Well, I'm honored again to be invited in this refresher alumni course. I think a number of times na po ako dito, and I'm always very happy to be a part of this very prestigious training center of ATI. Okay, my presentation is about high-tech, climate-smart, zero-waste pig farm, comb rice duck, biogas, and organic vegetable production. Let me define, next slide, please. Let me have the topical contents of this presentation. So I will be defining zero-waste pig farming. I will discuss some environmental laws and penalties. We will have testimonial farms adopting zero-waste pig farming. Then I will also present to you some of my studies, postdoctoral studies in Korea, on how zero-waste farming affects animal performance. And I will be also highlighting odor-erasing composting microbial concoctions. This is a combination of many products. When rolled into one, can make zero-waste farming possible. I will also touch some issues on air quality parameters inside the pig barn. And I think yesterday we have a sort of a discussion on artificial intelligence. So I'll be discussing how this AI was put up in a 30 square meter pig pen at the Future Rice Pig Farm. And by the way, I would like to acknowledge pala ang aking cousin, si Roger Baroga, the late Roger Baroga. I hope he is with us today because he was very instrumental in setting up this zero-waste pig farm in his 4-hectare Future Rice Farm in Rice with MOA, with CLSU from 2018 to 2021. Then I will also be tackling troubleshooting pig farms with the OE CMC and also composting inside your piggery farm. And then we have the organic vegetable production in your piggery farm also. Next slide, please. So when we say zero waste pig farming, we are actually reducing pollutants in this farm. And this is a closed loop system wherein byproducts such as hog, manure, rice hull, rice straw are not wasted. So simply put, there is no waste inside your livestock farm because waste is simply a misplaced resource. Let me highlight on this. Waste is simply a misplaced resource. Next slide, please. Okay, in Nueva Ecija, we have a 12 megawatt rice hull fired power plant, which is producing or processing 300 tons daily of rice hull. Mind you, that's equivalent to a 1035-tonner, 10-wheeler trucks being fit in this rice hull gasifier plant to produce 12 megawatts of electricity. Then in Nueva Ecija, we have also tons and tons of byproducts of rice, which is the rice hull. So in this fired power plant, you are having a waste of 4 to 6 tons daily, plus the number of tons also of byproducts of rice hull in Nueva Ecija. So in order for this to be utilized, so if they are just here, they are simply a misplaced resource. But when you harness them, they can generate power plants, electricity, and also they are now popular, being used as a litter material for our piggery farms. So we have here a combination of fly ash, rice hull, then garden soil, plus your odor-erasing composting microbes being top-dressed in this particular litter bed, and you just watch your animal grow without entering the pig farm. No flies, no ammonia. Next slide, please. So this is the swap model, which is now being visited by the future in Rice Nueva Ecija. This is the one which my cousin Roger from his crops in the future rice farm, we were able to assemble this 30 square meter farm. And this has been visited by already more than 6,000 farmers nationwide in their Lakbay Palay Aral, and still inside the farm, and you're very free to visit them anytime. Next slide, please. So in this particular litter bed floor, you just watch your animal grow until they are marketed. No flies, no ammonia. And we also installed in this farm, later on I will discuss this, an ammonia sensor. This is the ammonia sensor, and we have two, this is the ammonia reader, and we have two sensors here, the other one and the other here. I will explain to you how this operates even at the backyard level. Next slide, please. So this is the concept of zero waste pig farm that we have at the future rice farm. We have the rice duck farming here. We have the plastic drum biogas digester here. We have the 30 pigs here. We have the solar panel that gives power to the ammonia sensor. And this is also being monitored by CCTV, and it is inside my Android phone. So with the ammonia sensors, we have the vegetable production here, and then we have the biogas digester here. Next slide, please. Okay, this is the top view of the zero waste pig farm at the future rice farm, courtesy of Google Map satellite photo. So this is the 30 square meter piggery farm. This is the plastic drum biogas digester. And we have a simultaneously rice duck farming system here. And you will see here that the biogas digester here, the slurry here, can be utilized as source of fertilizer. Next slide, please. Now, we have also already an ongoing zero waste pig model at Chat CLSU Hydroaquaponics. Thank you for Dr. Sase, who also from his crops, he told me that we can assemble your zero waste pig at CLSU. So it's inside the CHAP CLSU Hydroaquaponics technology. And I was able to take this picture a few days ago. So this is now the zero waste pig model in CLSU within the vicinity of the hydroaquaponics technology of Dr. Sase. Thank you very much, Dr. Sase. Next slide, please. Now, this is a 40 sow level farm in Nueva Ecija. You can see here a pollutant-free lagoon. You can see here a biogas digester, and within outside the perimeter of this 40 sow level farm is a rice field. And this slurry is serving as a source of additional nutrients. So you see the culvert there. I hope my co-host can see the culvert there in the middle and highlight it in his cell phone. In the other one, on the topmost portion. There, that's the culvert. Going to the rice field. No pollution. In fact, nung tinanong ko yung may-ari ng farm nito, itong rice field na ito, nung siya rin ang nagsabing top yielder daw. Piggery din niya ito. No? Okay, next slide, please. So, this is the timeline picture of that farm. In July 2016, this particular slally dragon was very odorless. Hindi papasapo sa DNR to. No? Then after a few months, naging clear na siya. Makikita nyo dito, wala pa siyang vegetables. I hope you can highlight the surroundings there. Wala pa siyang vegetable on July 2016. No vegetable on September 2016. Pero on July 2017, you could see the vegetables there already. Ano yung soil bed nila? Coming from the sludge ng biogas digester nito. So you can convert your pig farm into a vegetable garden. Next slide, please. Unlike this one, typical of a piggery farm na open pit, you could just imagine the number of greenhouse gases polluting the atmosphere. So for a 500 sow level farm, you would be expecting 35 tons of ammonia being released into the air. Iba pa yung ammonia yan. Iba pa yung hydrogen sulfide. So let's make our slurry lagoon pollution-free with these odor-erasing microbial concoctions. Next slide, please. Alam niyo po itong Facebook picture na pinicturean ko galing po sa Kuwait yan. You could just imagine Kuwait burning at a temperature of 62 degrees centigrade. We in the livestock sector has a great role to play here in minimizing greenhouse gas, which is the result of which will trigger global warming. Next slide, please. Okay, I would like to discuss to you some environmental laws in the Philippines. Ang dami nila, no? We have the Philippine Clean Air Act, we have the hazardous waste, we have the ecological solid waste, we have the Philippine Clean Water Act, the Water Quality and General Effluent Standards of 2016. 1990 pa, mga batas na ito. So, how about the penalties? Let me have the next slide, please. Okay, ayan po yung penalties nila. If you can highlight here, isa sa mga penalties nila will be ranging from 10,000 to 200,000 daily. Sa Philippine Clean Water Act, pag nagdi-discharge ka ng effluent mo sa Department Administrative Order number 2016, no? So no person shall just discharge wholly or directly into a receiving water body or land or through bypass canals and or pumps. Next slide, please. Okay. I would like to share to you a study ng isang agency wherein he tried to test the water quality of point source in several provinces. We have here in Central Luzon and another one in Southern Luzon. Let us see Nueva Ecija. Ang biological oxygen demand niya is 1,211. Alam niyo po ang standard lang sa DNR, DAO 1990 standard for fresh water. It should only be 80 milligrams per liter, greatly exceeding standard. Tignan niyo po yung Bulacan, San Jose del Monte, 11,060 ang milligram per liter BOD. Yung Cavite, 21,717. Let us wake up. We have to neutralize these slurry lagoons, these pollutant sources. Next slide, please. Okay. I would like to share to you a joint study of my co-workers in Korea when I had my postdoctoral fellowship in 2005-2006 regarding the dynamics of air temperature, ammonia emission in conventional pig housing. Next slide, please. So the enclosed pig housing, which is low in ammonia, had a weight gain of an additional 200 plus. And if you divide that by 100 pigs, which is the occupancy of one house, there was an additional live weight of 2.05 kilogram per pig because of lower ammonia emission. So this is now the theoretical increase in income in live weight if the price per kilogram live weight is 130 pesos. Balita ko 150, 175 na live weight sa Tarlac, no? And plus the other factors here, reduce ang antibiotics, na-address mo ang climate change, occupational hazard, antimicrobial resistance, and you improve quality of life. Next slide, please. Okay, I would like to share to you also another poster presented to me by me in 2006 in Maryland when I attended that conference. Alam niyo po ba na ang piggery or poultry ay may mga tinatawag nating odor chemical or odor matter. And we have identified them through the liquid chromatography. O ito po yung mga pangalan ng mga amoy na naamoy natin sa ating mga piggery. Methyl mercaptan, dimethyl sulfide, paracresor. Popular lang sa atin yung hydrogen sulfide saka ammonia. Anyway, they are the dominant gases. So, dinetect ko yan with my coworkers within 20 meters from the boundary of the piggery house. Next slide, please. Okay. I would like to share also yung isang study ko na present ko sa 10th annual conference on livestock housing and environment when I was in Korea. Minessure ko yung ammonia level dun sa farm. Okay, let me see the result. Next slide, please. Ayan, I detected 17.52 parts per million. At 7 parts per million ammonia level, magkaroon ka na ng problema sa respiratory problems among pig workers. How much more with the baboy pigs na 24 hours nandun sila, no? Next slide, please. Okay. Now, the next question now, is there a product that would address all of this? Yes, there is. Because green pig farming or zero waste pig production or broiler production at that is now possible with the use of odor erasing composting microbial concoction. Well, if you have a product na meron lahat ito dito sa babanggitin kong isa-isa, then para ka ng dream team ng NBA. Although we have a lot of this being tested in our university, and we were able to prove kung alin dyan ang mga very effective talaga. And so far, short-list namin sila, these are your companion for your zero waste pig farming. Let me have them one by one. Bacillus glyciniformis is for ammonia binding. Thiobacillus sp is for hydrogen sulfate bacteria. Lactobacillus is for odor. Organic acid for scouring. Probiotics is for odor erasing also. Emulsifier, isa-sanitize na yung lagoon, alisin niya yung mga undigested fats. Nitrogen fixing bacteria when mixed with your manure, i-increase na yung nitrogen. Tuwan-tuwa mga vegetable farmers natin yan. Then we have other bacteria, yung enzymes, degrade niya, yung mga rice hull mo, yung mga fly ash mo sa litter bed mo, and the composting microbes, napaka-importante yan. And we can troubleshoot also problematic industrial scale biogas digester because it has methane producing bacteria. Dami. Let's have another slide, please. Okay, I'll just give you a simple procedure on how to prepare the odorless and flies-free litter bed. Okay, you dig a 0.9 meter pit. Next slide, please. Then add 45 centimeter rice straw. Next slide, please. Then rice hull. Another slide, please. Then, kung ano yung mahagilap nyo dyan na may bacillus, composting microbes, na mga product na yan, i-top dress nyo at 5 grams per square meter para i-compose na yung litter material. Then another rice hull. Next slide, please. Then rice straw again. Then you have it. The last layer, topsoil again. Then twice mong ilalagay yung mga odor erasing composting microbes mo. Maintenance na yan twice a week. Yan ang ginagawa namin sa future rice. Next slide, please. And you add the last layer, which is the rice hull. Then ilagay mo na lang po yung baboy mo. Next slide, please. Okay, let us wait because my presentation is in 2 parts, 3 parts. So i-prepare na ating co-host yung next slide from slide 31 to 45, 46. So if you have any question, you can throw, and I would be willing to answer them. I would like to view my chat page kung meron po kayong question. Okay, so yun yung litter material na pwede nyong magawa, no? Okay. So I would like to show you also a model of a litter bed made out of that particular combination, no? So in 2013, I had the time to engage with collaboration with Department of Agrarian Reform regarding the setup of their 200 fattening module. Here is in Balanga Agrarian Reform Beneficiaries. So tinuruan ko po sila kung paano pag-prepare noon, 200 native pigs ang inalagaan nila diyan, So here is a litter bed material na kung wala yung odor erasing, ammonia consuming microbes, maisusumpa nyo po ang litter bed material na yan. I tell you, I've heard many complaints regarding this kind of litter bed material na sinabi nila, Dok, mabaho pa rin, Dok, dami pa rin langaw, Dok, basa. I tell you, follow this step with the odor erasing microbial concoction, hindi kayo magsisisi. And then alam mo, sabi pa nila, bumalik daw uli sila sa konkreto. So ito yung mga documented studies. The raising of 5 successive batches of wind piglets on the same sawdust litter can reduce the ammonia emission by 62%. Yung nitrous oxide emission. So straw litter, rice hull, and so forth and so on. So ito lang ang dapat natin na gas. Tolerable gas sa piggery farm. Carbon dioxide, 3,000. Ammonia, 15. Hydrogen sulfide, 3. Carbon monoxide, 50 parts per million. Pag lumampas po yan, puro antibiotics na yun. Taas na po ang mortality ninyo sa loob ng farm. Kaya this has been for so many times, na-reach na natin po yung genetics, housing, sa pag-raise ng pigs. Yung sagad na ang technology natin. Lesser ang ginagawa nating intervention sa environmental manipulation. So let's have this a top priority. Next slide, please. Okay. Alam niyo po yung composting litter bed doon sa loob na na-convert na namin into compost? Ayan na. This is the 6-month litter bed converted to organic fertilizer. Ano po yung mga major practice students ko na binisita ko sa Aros, Santa Cruz, Zambales. Alam niyo po sa right picture, ginawa nilang soil bed po yan ng mango seedlings nila. Malalaki na siguro dahil 2013 ito. Walang langaw. Wala pong amoy yan. Because there's a composting microbes being top dressed in the pen twice a week. Next slide, please. Okay. You know, when I do disseminate technology, I have faceless interaction with my clients. So imagine, ito yung picture na binigay ni Mr. Gramonte sa akin from Sorsogon. I hope he is watching. Ayan, litter bed niya. And then, inalis lang niya dun sa kulungan niya, and then eto na, galing sa kanya mismo, kaya Tagalog yan. Pataba galing sa dry bed straw pen for our cacao, banana, trees, at mga nyug para madami lagi ang bunga. Anong ginagamit niya dyan? Odor erasing microbial concoction. Marami na sila ngayon sa market. Mag-ingat na lang kayo yung mga peke dyan. Okay, next slide please. Okay, so bakit nagkaroon? What happened? Bakit nagkaroon ng compost inside the litter pen? Okay, I would like to share to you a study din ito na i-publish namin sa Philippine Agricultural Scientists. Kasama ko si Dr. Kim in 2007. Okay, we measured the pH, temperature, microbial count, and enzyme dynamics going on inside the compost pile. Kindly have more clicks, please, para may pakita yung graph. So ayan, ang composting temperature dapat is 63 to 65 degrees centigrade. Kaya yung merong odor erasing at microbial concoction na inilagay sa composting material ay na-maintain niya yung 63 to 65 degrees centigrade. So I hope you can highlight there the top portion. Okay, so yun ay 63 to 65 degrees. And yung walang odor erasing microbial concoction, tignan mo, bagsak ang temperature niya, bulok ang compost mo niyan. And you will notice na dun sa 20 days lang, compost na siya. Samantala yung mga traditional composter natin umabot ng 60 days, 90 days, binabalutan mo pa. Dito, ipapakita ko paano paggawa ng compost sa isang piggery. Hindi anaerobic, kundi aerobic open pit. Next slide, please. So, I also analyze yung mga composting microbes dun sa loob ng composting file na yun. Ayun yung mga actinomycetes. Next slide, please. And then yung mga thermophilic microorganism. Kaya niyang i-compost yung litter bed niyo. So wag kayong maglagay ng ganun, mabubulok lang yung litter bed. Kayo to add composting microbes in your litter bed. Next slide, please. Okay, ito na yung production ng organic fertilizer. Ito, trial mismo ng mga piggery farm na inaasisan ko. No? Pinagsama niya yung 500 kg hog manure. I hope you can highlight this. Plus 500 kg na fly ash, saka 4 kg na OEMC. 14-day rapid composting lang to. No? I repeat, pinagsama niya yung 500 kg manure, 500 kg fly ash, at 4 kg OEMC. I-prorate nyo na lang po yan. Kung 5 tons, 40 kilos naman na OEMC. So tignan niyo yung day 1. Day 1. Ayan, combination po yan ng manure, saka hog manure, saka fly ash. Yan ang itsura niya. No more, no less. Tignan mo, nung nilagyan na yan ng 4 kg na OEMC, day 7, wala nang odor yan. Day 14, minonitor mo. Minonitor din namin pH, temperature, at saka meron pa isa, malalaman nyo mamaya. Ayan, yung 3-in-1 namin equipment para alam namin na successful yung composting namin. At day 14, next slide please. At day 14, next slide please. Okay, ito pala ang data. Ito yung 14-day data namin. Okay, previous slide please. Okay, ito. So ito yung 14-day data namin. Day 1 to day 14. Ayan na yung moisture tester namin. Minonitor namin yung color, minonitor namin yung smell. Third day, dahil 50% hog manure yan. Fourth day, nawala na yung odor. Texture, nagiging fine na, nag-start na maging fine hanggang sa fine na nung day 14. So ito na mga CLSU graduate boys natin sa farm. Kaya i-advertise ko na po mga CLSU graduate natin. Pwede sila sa hands-on anytime. Kahit po sa papag daw, pwede silang matulog. Okay, next slide please. So ito na. Ito, kailangan mga piggery farm, meron sila mga equipment na ganito. 3-in-1, you can test the pH, you can test the moisture, and the temperature. So lahat ito, tignan nyo yung literature ninyo sa composting. Take note, this is already open pit composting, 14 days. Hindi namin binalutan po yan ng kahit na anong cloth or polyethylene. Open pit yan. All these requirements for 14 days for an ideal compost, moisture content sa pH na satisfied. So ano ibig sabihin yan? Success. Ang 14-day rapid composting. Next slide please. Okay, hindi pa kami nakontento doon. Kailangan may tumubong tanim inside your vegetable, inside your piggery premises. So ito na yung 50% 14-day treatment na OEMC treated compost. Yan na. Ito na yung 14-day na compost na. Sinama namin sa soil na 50%, 50-50 uli. Sinama namin yan. Ayan. Ito, ginawa naming soil bed siya for a robust growing petri. And take note, seeds po yan. Hindi po seedling. Napatubo niya, napagerminate niya yung seeds. Pwede sa patola, pwede sa okra, etc. etc. So you could just imagine how nutrient-packed this combination is. Na dati, kailan ng baboy, nilagyan mo lang ng fly ash. So it's possible to have a vegetable garden in your piggery farm. Next slide, please. Okay. OEMC is also an egg larvae fly buster. Diyos ko po, ang tatapang po ng mga chemicals, ng mga present chemical-based na fly busters na mga yan. Why not go into non-chemical-based control? So tignan niyo po ito ang nangyari. Nung tuloy-tuloy na inilalagay yung OECMC na yan na kung ano mamagilap niyo sa market, ang gagawin niya is yung mga cellulose na nandiyan sa litter floor, i-degrade niya dahil may enzymes yan And during that degradation process, we call this hydrolysis kasi may cellulolytic bacteria ang ating OECMC. So gaya ng digestion process, there is liberation po of hydrogen. So may hydrolysis continuously going on inside the litter bed. Alam naman po natin sa hydrolysis, may liberation of hydrogen. So ano makikita ni ano mangyayari? There's a warming effect in this litter bed. Tuloy-tuloy yan. Ito ang evidence. Next slide please. Mineasure po namin ang temperature inside the OEMC treated litter bed, 33 to 41 degrees centigrade. Patay. Previous slide here, hindi makaporma ang pupa or larva ng flies dyan. Okay, that's the reason kung bakit odorless and flies-free yung litter bed na yan. Ayan, nakikita nyo yung mga adult pupa saka flies pa dyan na hindi nagtuloy. Next slide, please. Okay, your OECMC can also sanitize po your lagoon. O, tignan nyo po, odorless slurry pa yan sa left slide. Then makikita nyo, ito yung white portion na sinasabi ko. Yan, kung makikita ng boss natin, yung white portion sa second picture. Ayan, kindly highlight. O yan, yung white portion. Yan, dito. Right side. O ayan yung white portion. Yan yung mga undigested fats sa lagoon. Dahil may emulsifiers ang ating OECMC, ida-digest na yan. Kaya tignan nyo na mangyari pag continuous na pag-maintain mo ng lagoon mo. Pollution-free na. Next slide, please. Okay. Well, I had the permission also to use these slides. Ang owner ng farm na yan, si Brookside, 2,600 sow level, January 10, 2017. Through the OECMC technology, they were able to sanitize the 10 lagoons here, dito, sa left side. Yung satellite photo na yan. Can you highlight the lagoons here? Yan. They were able to sanitize this. Okay? Let us see the evidence. Next slide, please. Okay. January 10, 2017, within 7 days lang, sanitize yan. Okay, next slide, please. Pina-analyze po namin yung kanyang lagoon. Tignan nyo sa lower part, ang BOD nila sa TSS, 1,498 left side ang BOD nila. Ayan. And TSS nila is 1,230. After 7 days, punta po tayo sa taas. Sa taas, 19. Sa taas po, punta tayo sa taas. 19 parts per million na lang. TSS, 52 parts per million. Anong recommendation ng DNR? 50 to 100, right side. Pasado. So kung lahat ng farms, ganyan, mabawasan na po yung greenhouse gases natin. Next slide, please. Okay, so pwede rin natin ma-troubleshoot yung biogas digester dahil may methane-producing bacteria po yan. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay, I think we have the third part ng ating slide. So i-prepare uli ng co-host natin yung last slide, and then I think sabi ko yata kanina ako ang mag-share screen. Let me see. Okay na ho ba? Nakikita nyo na?
Okay na, Doc. Kita na siya.
Okay, this is now the last slide. So this is the, okay, dito muna tayo. Okay. So the OECMC can also convert your solid waste from septic tank to organic fertilizer. Ayan po, septic tank. Nilagyan ng OECMC, and then after that, you can now produce organic fertilizer. Okay. Your OECMC can also treat wallowing pool, which will serve as a slurry fertilizer for rice duck farms. So, ayan po. Kita nyo yung slurry papunta sa rice field. Okay, itong low-cost biogas digester na ito, yung 6 drops na yan, pwede po natin assemblean yan. In 6 to 8 hours lang, ma-assemble natin yan. Okay, it reminds me ng aking training sa Central Bicol State University ng mga farmers. Ina-assemble ko po yung drum na yan para sa mga trainees ng mga farmers. I think that was last year. Okay, so this is now the open pit OMC. So I have here Mr. Alex Munoz. Kinonvert niya yung garden niya, into an organic, kinonvert niya yung vacant lot niya into a garden. So ito yung open pit niya, OEMC treated yan. Inilagay lang niya dito sa soil na ito. And then look, may vegetable na siya. Nakapag-uwi pa ako ng talong at okra. Okay. Kahapon meron tayong artificial intelligence na discussion. Well, we have that also model in zero waste pig farm, in future rice farm. Okay. Ito po yung piggery. Ayan po yung 30 sow level. Meron po siyang CCTV yan. Na-access po yan sa cellphone ko. I can monitor the pigs inside anytime. And then meron po siyang solar panel. So siya na ho ang nagpa-power dito sa ammonia sensor na ito. And then ayan na po yung ammonia sensor. 30 square meter floor area. So ano advantage dito? Okay. Ang advantage niyan is very easy to assemble. Okay, ito na yung ammonia gadget, ito yung sensor. Kaya yan ng isang SD card lang via smartphone. And then we have here a graph. Real time, mamomonitor niya yung ammonia level inside the farm and it can be exported as Excel file. So ito yung cellphone ko, ipapakita ko yung sample ng ma-export niya na file. Next. Okay, ayan. So ayan po yung temperature reading, ammonia reading, dahil dalawang sensors ko, ito yung na-monitor niyang ammonia level. So makikita niyo may spike po siya dyan, tumaas ang ammonia level. So tumaas yan, kaya everyday po na monitoring. Kaya sasabihin ko lang sa caretaker, tawagan ko siya, mataas ang ammonia level mo, palabasin mo yung wallowing pool mo sa slurry. Hindi ka naglinis ng kulungan, ano po? Sabi ko gano'n. Hindi niya matatanggihan dahil naka-record yung ammonia level niya on that particular day. We can customize your artificial intelligence in the farm via a simple SD card, smartphone, Android nilang, and then ma-export natin yung file. So, mamomonitor pa niya yung temperature, carbon dioxide, and so forth and so on. So, meron pong biniling sensor doon and then inassemble, kinastomize. Kaya makikita nyo dito yung graph. May graph. Real time po yan. So, anong pangalan yung software na yan? Amoy Gateway. So, this is, meron siyang server, meron siyang operating system, meron siyang mouse, and then, ayan, paano natin install yan? Isang sensor, kagaya ng farm, yung model natin sa zero waste pig, 30 square meter diyan, kaya 30 to 40 square meter. So dito mo ilalagay yung sensor. Kung tunnel ventilation farm ka, gusto mo pa malaman yung ammonia level mo. So ayan yung sensor. So makukuha mo lahat real time, carbon dioxide, ammonia, hydrogen sulfide, and so forth and so on. Okay, nagtanong na po ang CPF dito regarding the ammonia reader. So ito yung mga tunnel ventilation farms. And later on, may kakabit na sa kanila para ma-monitor ang kanila ammonia level, hydrogen sulfide, and so forth and so on. And kung gusto mong magkaroon ka ng practical way of detecting ammonia, kasi may mga gadget tayo na worth 100,000, yung Gastech ammonia tester, at saka meron din yung mga litmus, parang litmus paper lang, and so forth and so on. So ito practical lang, magsampay ka ng damit mo dyan sa exhaust fan, then pag urinal or ammoniacal yan, then that means di mo na control yung ammonia. So ito yung isang farm ng isang CPF. So ito lang ang dapat natin maintain sa gas and na gas level sa swine and poultry. So ito po ang mangyayari sa farm ninyo pag mataas ang ammonia, mataas ang dust concentration at saka bacteria. Sigurado may tama ang baga ng farm mo. I remember one time when I was invited as a speaker ng Philippine College of Swine Practitioners. I hope we have veterinary medicine group here. I told them that ammonia is a precursor for pneumonia. So we have just to maintain good air quality in the farm within the standard level Pero sinabi ko pa rin sa kanila, in complementation with your usual medication. And they did not have any rebuttal regarding air quality management inside the pig farm. So ayan na yung low-cost plastic drum biogas digester natin. And then ito na yung rice duck farming natin. So makikita nyo dito, ito yung piggery farm. Yung slurry niya, tuloy-tuloy na pumupunta doon. I-present ko ito po sa Philippine Association of Research Manager last November sa Zamboanga. And ito yung poster ko. And I had also an analysis of the rice duck farm. This is a 453 square meters. Tatlong environmental science students ko po ang nag-conduct dito, and I hope I can prepare a monograph regarding this in the future. No? At least may data na tayo. No? So nung kinorelate namin yung kanyang yung harvest per hectare, imagine umabot pa rin ng 35 kabans per hectare na wala kang ginawa ditong intervention. Walang chemicals, walang insecticides, walang fertilizer. Lahat galing sa slurry na nandudon sa wallowing pool. So possible ang rice duck farming inside, within your piggery farming business. So with this, I would like to have a take-home message regarding my presentation. Green pig and zero-waste pig farming is now a reality because of the wonders of microbes, enzymes, functional compounds, and ipasok na rin natin yung Internet of Things as well as artificial intelligence. With this, I hope I was able to have, in one way or another, a modest contribution now to green pig farming in our country. And hopefully, you would be my growing number of custodians to the environment. And let us continue now to sustain a green planet. A good day to all of us.
Thank you, Doc Baroga. So we are going to entertain now the questions being raised while you are discussing earlier. Ano po? So first, Doc, from Ma'am Seni Gambe, what would be a good product for slaughterhouse wastewater and condemnation pit?
Okay, I would like to inform you also in advance na yung mga odor erasing microbial concoctions na nakita namin sa mga compositions na yan ay pwede rin sa mga dressing plants ng mga broiler dressing plants, and so forth and so on. So I suggest, ma'am, na you just give me the volume of your lagoon, yung mga septic tank ninyo, yung mga mortality pit ninyo, and we have a way of calculating kung gaano karami ang ilalagay niyo po, and then we will recommend you those products. Kasi kailangan muna natin ng volume ng lagoon natin dahil may treatment schedule po yan within 60 days. And then pag makumpleto mo yon at hindi na magre-recur yung odor and so forth and so on, hayaan mo lang. Pag mag-recur uli, tuloy uli yung ganong treatment regimen. We have proven this already in the industry at marami nang gumagamit. Alam niyo po yung balahibo ng mga baboy saka mga manok. I tell you, i-degrade niya yan, i-digest niya dahil yung OECMC na yan merong functional compounds at ang tawag mo doon ay keratinase. Kaya magugulat na lang kayo, mare-reduce yung mga solid waste mo, lalo na yung mga katabi niyong mga dressing plants, local plants, and so forth. I hope I would be able to have also a seminar with the DNR regarding this. Kasi marami tayong pollution control officers, and there's now a technology for this. We have calculated the concoctions, and then I can also show you pictures yung before and after kung paano na-sanitize yung mga lagoons na yun, mga slurry lagoons. Just what I've shown you in my first presentation a while ago sa Nueva Ecija na napaka-clear yung lagoon. Next slide. Next, please.
So, Doc Baroga, we will be giving yung ating mga attendees ng inyong contact para naman po pagka nagpa-compute sila on how kung gaano kadami yung kakailanganin, they can relay their queries with you. Ano po?
Yes po ma'am, ano? Andun na rin po yung email address ko
Okay.
and saka cellphone number.
Next question po from Mr. Juni Menyosa. Can we use OECMC treated compost for vermicomposting?
Well, actually marami na po nagtanong dyan eh. Hindi pa namin po nasubukan, pero ito lang po ang totoo. Nung kinompare namin yung performance ng mga vegetables na inapplyan ng itong OECMC treated na hog manure fly ash na yan, saka vermicompost, saka isa pong organic fertilizer sa market na hinugot namin. Alam niyo po saan namin po kinompare yun? Sa Gawad Kalinga po ni Tony Meloto sa kanyang 2 hectare na vegetable farm. And they were delighted. Si Nick Perlas, yung president ng foundation nilang yon, ano? Binisita pa nga niya yung paggawaan niyan, and they were so very delighted na ang nanalo yan ay yung OECMC treated na hog manure fly ash. Pwedeng synergism, complementation. So yun po, wala pa ho akong actual na monitor na kung pwede siya sa vermicompost. Siguro gagawin ko yun, papagawa ko yun sa mga partner ko na tuloy-tuloy na nagtra-trial dito.
Apo. Update nyo kami, Doc, ha, pag na-try na nila po. Ano po?
Okay
So,
po. Basta naman ganito
para
naman,
makita para mapakita rin po natin sa ating mga participants, sa ating mga viewers.
Pati data po, no?
Apo.
Puro scientific basis po. I-represent lang natin. I cannot conclude.
Okay.
So I just conclude kasi based on data.
So, ito po naman, galing po kay Mr. Josh Fernandez, kung pwede daw pong mag-schedule ng site visit. I think
ewan ko kung available na kayo sa inyong locality na lumabas sa inyong area dahil community quarantine tayo. Anytime naman po open yung Future Rice Farm sa Fear Rice, and then yon, hindi nga palang ganong dun sa hindi pa nga lang kompleto dito sa CLS yung hydroponics, bahay pala nandun. Pero anytime text nyo lang ako and then i-arrange ko. Ihahatid ko po kayo dun sa farm na yun, dun sa Future Rice Farm para makita nyo yung model natin.
So, another question po from Mr. John Auxilius. Sino po yung mga major suppliers ng OECMC?
Well, actually, generics po ang ginawa ko, di ba? Actually, produkto yan ng kahit sinong company. Kaya ko inilagay doon para sa ganon, pag meron na palang ganito, subukan. So, puro generics ang nilagay ko. Kaya importante po yung slides na yun. I hope na meron kayong I can recommend, I can give assistance. Ibulong ko na lang po sa inyo.
Sige. We will be providing them naman po para makapag-coordinate.
Okay, andun lahat yung mga generics. Lahat yan. Open to lahat yan. Dahil generics po ang mga ingredients yan.
Opo. Baka mapagkamalang nagpo-promote tayo pag
tayo lang kontento na tayo sa advocacy natin sa environment.
So another question po from Wesley Vergara. So Doc, I'm from Cuenca, Batangas. I'd like to invite you to visit if possible to check, inspect my existing biogas for further enhancement and upgrade. Invitation pala po ito, Doc. So kayo naman kanina nagtatanong kung pwedeng bumisita, ngayon naman ay nag-i-invite po kung pwede daw kayong bumisita dito sa amin sa Batangas.
Well, anytime po ma'am pwede. Pero kung gusto niyo picture na lang tayo and then Zoom, nakakapag-assist ako ngayon dyan during summer. Dahil siyempre yung health concerns ang iniiwasan pa rin po natin. Pero para na rin po ako nandun sa farm ninyo if we do this digital conferencing po. Tulad ng ginagawa po, pinipicturean nila yung lagoon na polluted, and then later on, bigay na nila sa akin yung volume ng lagoon nila, and then ayan na ang ilagay nyo. Then ito na po yung hanapin ninyong mga active ingredients na available dyan. Kaya yung mga commercial companies, the drug industries na nandito, so kung meron kayong composition na yon, yung mga binanggit ko, mga thesis ng estudyante namin, kasama po yung mga katropa ko sa Animal Science Department yan, mga animal nutritionists. In fact, meron din ko mga publications sa TJ Bass. So and then i-assist namin po kayo doon.
So ito na yung part ng new normal, ano, Doc? So we can consult
And by the
with
way,
her anytime, ano?
I think I have a schedule parang webinar. Tentative pa lang po ito, October 21. Pakitignan, paki-block nyo na yung date. October 21, I have a webinar schedule by the from our RET training office. Sasabi lang ni Mrs. yan sa akin kanina. So, pwede ko kayong mag-standby doon para ganito rin ang topic na i-detalye pa natin. Baka may hands-on pa yan, no?
Kasi yun na yung new normal natin, Doc, ngayon, ano? We are also conducting training through this, then demonstration. Wala nga lang touch, pero you can visualize naman, ano po?
Yeah. Most likely wala na rin touch.
So, another question po, ano po, how about zero waste poultry farming for both backyard and commercial? Have you done this with poultry din daw po?
Yes po, pwede po sa broiler, pwede po sa layers, pwede po sa quail, sa pugo. Gusto niyo mawala yung mga mapanghing amoy sa inyong kulungan ng aso, mga pusa, ahas, saka mga Doberman sa Manila.
Lahat ng animals.
Sila, no? Lahat ng may obnoxious odor. The functional compounds, which are the odor erasing microbes, are so very effective. No? In fact, 6 hours lang po ito. Gawin niyo ito. No? Linisin niyo yung kulungan ng baboy ninyo. Ngayong alas 7, i-top dress niyo na yon, yung mga may generics na yon, na composition, lalo na yung bacillus sa lactobacillus combination. Amuin nyo yung t-shirt na ihinang nyo dun sa taas. 6 hours lang. Pag ninyo, yung isa walang ganon, amuin nyo rin yung ihina yung t-shirt na yon, and then makita mo yun yung mapanghi dahil di mo inilagay yung odor erasing. So, yun ang pinaka-practical namin test. Meron kagad na resulta in 6 hours. To see is to believe. Sabi nga nila sa Ilocano, paan mati, paan kita.
So we will be entertaining the last 2 questions. Ano po? So ito pong question from Miss Lynette Noche Panganiban. Have you tried the technology in a non-rice-based area? How about its economics?
Well, hindi pa po. Yung non-rice based. Doon sa rice duck farming nyo po, no? Hindi pa po. Siguro critical na yung water management po doon para maging successful. Pero we will try po para kompleto po yung magiging technology assistance natin dun sa mga mismong rice duck farmers na mga palay farmers na gusto ring magtayo ng piggery na ganitong kaliit lang. No? So take note, this is a 1,000 square meter model at the future rice farm. 30 square meters yung piggery, 30 square meters yung vegetable garden, and then another 500 square meters yung rice duck area. Kaya pwede nang i-model yan.
Fully utilize yung area niya, Doc. Ano po?
Yeah. Anytime po, pwede mag-visit. Existing po yan. Nagkataon lang po na pandemic na yun. Kundi meron na naman kaming mga farmers na bumibisita dyan. In fact, yung 2 hanggang 3 araw nilang lakbay aral dyan, umabot sila ng 1,000. Kaya namamaus ako sa kale-lecture sa kanila sa isang araw. No? Imagine, 14 na station, so 14 na grupo din na farmer. Naka-standby lang ako dyan sa zero waste model na yan. No? So we have, and another thing is, nung gumawa ng Facebook online feedback sa mga umattend dito ng lakbay aral na yon, among all the 14 modules dun sa Future Rice Farm, itong zero waste pig ang most likely na i-adapt daw nila because of its practicality and its low cost and it is in preparation.
So for our last question po from Mr. Josh Fernandez, pwede po bang ilagay direct yung OECMC sa lagoon?
Yes, pwede po 'yon, Meron po tayong procedure diyan. Pwedeng gradual lang, 7 consecutive days, then maintenance for twice a week until 60 days. Pwede po rin yung first 7 days ay ibigla niya sa isang araw. So, pwede po, direct sa lagoon. Dahil lalangoy na yung mga odor erasing microbes doon. Tuloy-tuloy yan, minuto yan na nagmo-multiply once na nandun na po sila sa lagoon. Proliferate na po sila. Kaya battle lang yan ng population ng odor erasing microbes sa odor producing microbes. Na nag-recur na naman yung odor, na-offset na sila ng mga odor-producing microbes, kasi tuloy-tuloy na nag-peppermint yung mga tae eh. Kaya dun magre-recur yung amoy. Kaya it's already a lifetime maintenance.
Okay. So yun, Doc, medyo maraming nag-i-invite sa'yo na sana daw kahit after the pandemic na ay makabisita kayo sa kanya. Pero yun nga, just like you said earlier, as of now, yun muna, via online muna ang consultation with you. So I will be, yun nga, since pwede naman naming ibigay yung contact details ninyo, we will be providing them your contact details. Ano po, Doc?
Opo, nasa PowerPoint ko naman po.
Apo.
Bigay nyo na lang po yung cellphone and email address, ma'am.
So, expect po na dadami yung mga bago nyong, anong tawag dito, mga bago nyong textmate and then mga bago nyong chat regarding this zero waste module natin. Ano po? So, with that po, we would like again to extend our deepest gratitude to you, Dr. Antonio J. Baroga, for the valuable time na i-share nyo po sa amin yung knowledge na napaka-useful po para sa ating mga farmers, sa stakeholders, as well as the agricultural extension workers who are attending this seminar in connection with the 35th anniversary celebration of ATI ITCPH. Again po, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to Dr. Antonio J. Baroga. So, virtual clap na lang naman po tayo, So, pati virtual handshake kasi bawal ang touching, Touch muna, po. And then, Doc, we will be sending you po our token of appreciation and then the plaque via na lang din. Via courier na lang din po. Po?
At saka ma'am pala, by the way, I would like to inform ng ITC page na merong pending na MOA regarding yung pagtatayo ng model na yan diyan sa ITC page center, So hopefully mag-materialize yon para mas lalo po tayong ma-maximize yung service natin for a green pig farming to all our stakeholders out there.
Again po, salamat po. Maraming salamat po, Dr. Baroga.
And happy anniversary!
Thank you po. Thank you po.
My family.
Sana po ay makita namin kayo in person pagkatapos na lahat ng ito.
Oh,
lahat.
yes.
Apo. Sige po.
Thank you.
So, salamat po. Maraming salamat. So with that po, yung session po natin for this morning for the refresher course has ended. And then we will be having po our webinar later in this afternoon at 2 p.m. po. Ang gagamitin po nating link, the webinar link